Shalom. Excuse me. Shalom, giving all praises. Giving all praises to Yahawah Qadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. I'm going to try to make this quick. Let's see where the Spirit takes me. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, Why Did the Apostle Paul Tell the Israelite Men of Corinth it is a shame for a man to have long hair? Which meant they had to cut their hair. This is from a video that I did last night. Why do Christian men have long hair? And this is so real. He was doing he was a guest on Vocab Malone's show. And Vocab Malone should have got on him about having long hair. Same with what's this guy? Adam Coleman. He came out to the camp a couple years ago. I believe it was 2018, 2019, 2018 maybe. So we're talking 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. Talking about 5 plus years, 6 years ago. And he had long hair. So if they claim to be Christians and they're getting on us about us going off for saying that we're the Israelites and so forth. And the scriptures, our Lord said this. He spoke about taking a beam out of your eye before you look to take the mote out of somebody else's eye. So that's complete hypocrisy. These Christians always coming up short. And the reason being is because we study everything. So anyway, you see this guy long as hell. Plus this dude is zesty. This dude is zesty as hell. Yeah, I said it. The nigga's zesty. And Paul even spoke about that too. Paul said, I hear that there are zesties among you. Inside joke. It came to me, so I had to throw it out there. Yeah, Paul was like, nah, you can't be zesty in this thing. If you was zesty, stop being zesty. Let me see, which means effeminate. Okay, so this is an individual making a comment. I myself have long hair. I'll have to rewatch, see what you said to share on Bible interpretations of long hair. What's there to interpret? What's there to interpret? This is what Paul said. Matter of fact, you know what? Yeah, okay, this is good. So this is the word, when you click on long hair, this is 1 Corinthians 11, 14, and 15. Actually 14. But because you Christians do not study, you don't understand, so it's foreign to you. They like the grape doctrine. They're still making these Israelites are still making a big deal about the grape doctrine if it comes up. GMS said that them guys got demons on them. Well, you don't go deep, especially IUIC. They never go into any. They'll go into, let's get the dictionary. Get the dictionary, brother. You got to go into the Hebrew and the Greek and the scriptures. This is why the IUIC is very shallow. They'll give you a lot of precepts, but don't understand those precepts. So the word there is to let the hair grow, having long hair. In the case of a man, as you can see, 14 verse, do not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. So the word here is
Strong's G 2863, kama'o. Kama'o.
And this is what and I believe what's that, 2 Timothy 2 verse 15, study to show thyself approved. What it meant by study to show thyself approved, prove is when you go into the scriptures, you have to go into you got to go into the Greek or in the Hebrew. You may have to go to a map. Yes, a Christian, where is Corinth located? An average Christian. First of all, what do you mean by Corinth? Corinth is in the Bible. Paul went up and gathered the saints in Corinth. Where is Corinth located? They don't know. Texas? Especially the black church. Please don't let me start on the black church. Corinth was a province of Greece. The Greeks took over Corinth. So you had Israelites all throughout those Greek provinces. I'm gonna prove that too. I'm gonna prove that as well. Let me see here. So I'll let you hear the word again.
Strong's G 2863, kama'o. Kama'o.
And it means long hair. To wear tresses of hair, I gotta look that up. Have long hair. I believe they had extensions back there as well. Have long hair. In Greek writings from Homer down. So now let me do this. And any Christian scholar that's a well-studied Christian scholar that puts books together, that goes into the history, you know, they'll go into the etymology of a particular word in the scriptures. They'll tell you, like if you go to the commentary, they'll tell you, most, if not all of them, they'll tell you that, well, that was a Greek custom. So now what I did was, it says here, right? Greek, Hellenic, Judaism, and the problem tongues of Corinth. This is what this is why they had to put together the Septuagint. They didn't put the Septuagint for Edomites. They put together the Septuagint to translate the Hebrew text into the Greek, because there were a lot of Israelites that knew that they were Israelites, but they weren't fluent, or they didn't know how to speak, or couldn't read, write, or speak in the Hebrew. And that's because they were Hellenized. This is what it means to study to show thyself approved. When the Apostle Paul makes a statement, when the Apostle Peter makes a statement, when Yahawashi makes a statement, when it's talking about Rome, when it's talking about Ephesus, Qadash, Galatia, okay, so it says Judah fell under Seleucid control in 198 BC. By the time Antiochus IV Epiphanes. Now, when you go into the scriptures, like if you, for example, Daniel chapter 8, Daniel chapter 11 goes into the Seleucid line and the Ptolemaic lines, and how they were warring against each other, the king of the north and the king of the south. You would have to go into the history. If you were a regular Christian, I said go to Daniel 11. What does that mean? They're clueless. Most Israelites are clueless. They don't know. Yeah, have you ever seen Bishop Nathaniel even attempt to break down Daniel chapter 11? He doesn't know because it wasn't taught to him. You got to understand, Bishop Nathaniel is a master regurgitator. I dare him to attempt to go into Daniel chapter 11. And if he does, if he breaks it down right, I said, okay, good. Where'd you get that from? Because we did do videos on it, and we did break down Daniel 11. Oh, they just now understanding 2nd Ezra's chapter 11, chapter 12, because we've been putting videos out on it. We've been breaking it down for you. See, there's a reason why Ariel never went into deep. He never went into Daniel 11 because he didn't have the breakdown. None of the 7 had the breakdown. They attempted to break down many years ago 2nd Ezra's 11 and 2nd Ezra's 12. They couldn't. The high priest Ariel doesn't have the breakdowns to this very day. Not knocking them, because the most what does it say in Isaiah 34:16, around there, where the Most High gave it to him by line, by lot. It was allotted to Jeremiah to get certain prophetic prophecies, Isaiah, and so forth, right? The only one that got the understanding of the MOTB is John. I mean, he didn't get the understanding because he didn't understand what he saw. He just wrote it down. We understand it. It said Judea fell under Seleucid control 198 BC. By the time Antiochus Epiphanes IV became king of Judea in 175 BC, Jerusalem was already somewhat Hellenized. And one of the examples of them being Hellenized were the men had long hair, grew long hair. This is why Paul got them about men not having long hair, because they were Hellenized. The church of Corinth were Hellenized. That's why they were committing adultery, fornication. A lot of them were Moes that had to come out of that Moism. In 170 BC, Christianity, you can be a Mo and be in Christianity. You can pretty much be anything. You can do anything and be a Christian. Both claimants to the high priesthood, Jason and Menelaus, both Greeks' name. Remember the priest Jason, that wretch? Jason it's not a Hebrew word. So you had Israelites that had high offices in Israel as priests and so forth, but they had Greek names. Apostle Paul, when he addressed in Romans chapter 16, all the names that he mentioned in Romans chapter 16 were Greek names. One of the Israelites was named Herodian. What is the Hellenization of the Jews? Traditionally, Hellenistic Judaism was a designation for Judaism in the Greek-speaking world, including those Jews who spoke Greek and adopted, to some extent, a Greek way of life. One of the ways that they adopted was the long hair. It has been argued, however, that all Judaism after the conquest of Alexander was Hellenistic Judaism. So it wasn't pure Israel. They were not pure Israelites. They had Greek mixed in to their customs, their laws. Okay, let me check this one. The Hebrews were Jewish Christians who spoke almost exclusively Aramaic, and the Hellenists were also Jewish Christians whose mother tongue was Greek. They were Greek-speaking Jews of the diaspora who returned to settle in Jerusalem. To identify them, Luke uses the term Hellenistia. See, it says right here, Hellenistic Judaism. Hellenism. Corinth. Corinth is a successor to an ancient city and is a former municipality in Corinthia, Peloponnese, which is located in south-central Greece. That's why Paul had to tell them, you can't, the Israelites in Rome, you can't be alphabet people. You can't 1 Corinthians 7 have one wife, and 1 Corinthians 5 there was an example of a guy sleeping with his father's wife. So Paul said you can't do that. But why did they do it? Because they were under those Israelites back in Corinth, they were straight up heathens. They were not Hellenized Jews. They were straight up heathens that had to come out of that. So that's where Corinth is located. That's why they had long hair. This I remember I told, this is back at 1 West when I had the camp before we go out. I forget the demon's name. He looked like an East Indian. And he fell out years ago. But he had like kind of long hair. And I said, in general, I said, you men, because the 7 didn't, if you had long hair, they didn't have no big deal with it. I said, look, you got to cut, man can't, if you're an Israelite man, this thing, you got to cut your hair. And he had made a statement to somebody that the reason why Apostle Tahar said men got to cut their hair because he's jealous because he can't grow hair. Look, when I was a kid, I outgrew my 2 sisters. My hair grew. My mother had the key. She lost a lot of money getting my hair cut. My hair would grow long and out. I had that big, puffy Michael Jackson 5 afro. I had the biggest one in the hood. It just grew out. When you put that hot comb to it, I had that super, man, the hell you talking about? But that's why he fell out. That's why that heathen fell out. Because he really wasn't in the scriptures. I just wake up one morning. I'm tired of looking at men with long hair. Why can't I grow long hair? I'm gonna tell them they got to cut their hair, and I'm gonna justify it with a scripture. So when I heard him say that, he's hard saying that because he can't grow long hair and he's jealous. I said, this guy ain't gonna last long. Scripture speaking Jude about them creep in unawares. I'm merely paraphrasing Jude 1. Now it says here, right? It says in the earliest times, the Greeks wore their hair long, and thus they are constantly called in Homer. This ancient practice was preserved by the Spartans for many centuries. The Spartan boys always had their hair cut short, quite short. Now they had a movie come out, 300, where I believe they had short hair, but they had long beards. But I believe it was the Athenians. One group of Greeks were like, look, we ain't went with that long hair. Others said, we are with it. Did the ancient Greeks have long hair? Talking about the men. Yes, his long hair, it was widely known in ancient and classical Greece that Spartan warriors had long hair, which they treated well before each battle. So then when they go to battle, they would do their hair. They would braid it up. And they show you in the movie, what is the movie with Brad Pitt? What was the goddamn movie? I got the movie on DVD. With Achilles. Damn, I forget the goddamn movie. Somebody help me out. It'll come back to me. Troy. The movie was Troy. You watch certain scenes in the movie, you see the background of other soldiers, the Greek soldiers, and they get a back shot. You'll see them all with long hair, long braided, long cornrows, which prove what? That they're Jakes. Esau tried to get them cornrows, and they fall apart. They come apart. That was Jake. I don't know who put that period piece together. I believe it was Ridley Scott. Somebody correct me. Could have been another guy. But they were when the Edomites make these period pieces, they stick to detail, man. They'll get scholars and so forth, historians, to make sure everything looks like ancient Egypt. Jake doesn't do that because they're lazy. It says, on the contrary, Athenians favored the clean shaven head for the military and young children. Now, in the movie 300, King Leonidas refers to the Athenians as boy lovers. Well, guess what? The Spartans were boy lovers too. They were. That's why Paul had to get on them, the Israelites in Rome, because the men were laying with other men. That's part of the Greek culture back then. That is why Spartan men had long hair. And they would make sure they would groom their hair, they would braid it, they would curl it up. So this is why Paul said what he said. And you can see that they're Jake. You can kind of see the cornrows. And like I said, they would plait their hair, they would get it braided, and they would put the helmet on top. So you had to look good when you went out to war. Look, you can see that this is a Jake right here. Look at the arms. Those are the Spartans and the Athenians, because they're the same people. These are definitely Jake that tell you that in the Apocrypha. The Lacedaemonians are related to, their line goes back to Abraham. So, anyway, with that I'm going to say Shalom.